It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Kitchen Land USA, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Hey there, good morning to you on Monday. Hope you had a great weekend, and we are starting off the week with some news.
A man is in jail accused of intentionally ramming into police cars while running from authorities. The chase started on Route 14 in Ozark and went into Douglas County, which is Ava. That's where law enforcement used their patrol cars to try to block the driver in and then rammed them. Eventually, authorities from 3 local departments were able to arrest that man. He was from Sparta. We told you last week that the Plaza Towers sold for $13.4 million. So not too far from 14 million, 13.4 million to a local man at auction because of some legal troubles with a previous owner. What did not sell last week on the courthouse steps was the Plaza Shopping Center, which is right across the street, Glenstone from Plaza Towers. That means that the Plaza Shopping Center there remains in foreclosure and is owned by OMB Bank. The auction for the Plaza Shopping Center started at $1 million, but there were no bids.
That's interesting. Because
You would think.
Sizable shopping center. Okay, $1 million. I mean, compared to 13 seems low. But
I mean, is it because, like, if you think about that shopping center, at least since we've lived here, it has not seen a ton of traffic. You know what I mean? So,
well, I don't know.
like, do they consider that area like tough to do like certain types of, I mean, because there's like a bank in there. I mean, there's businesses who do business, obviously, but none of them are just like, it seems like high retail area.
No, it's different sorts of businesses rather than, TJ Maxx. But maybe it's I don't know. It's interesting to me because the one down the street across from the mall, forget what that's called, but that had a facelift. It was actually, I think it was designated blighted or something, so it got some tax help to fix it up, and it looks like $1 million now,
Right?
Which is, it costs well more than $1 million, I'm sure. So I'm surprised somebody wouldn't want to do that. But what do I know? I'm not a business owner. I'm not spending.
I know, and I feel like they would know about it, right? Because sometimes I'm like, sometimes we assume people know things that they don't actually know. That happens a lot. Let me just tell you, as a reporter, there's a lot of assumed information out there. But I feel like if you're in the business world, right, wouldn't they know?
People in the know.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, we didn't solve anything just now, so we just wasted some time talking about it.
Somebody will tell us. Maybe someone knows something that we don't know, and they're going to let us in on what they know.
Okay. Well,
it's going to be good.
Breath.
It's going to be
volunteers. Good. It was a good weekend for volunteers. They worked over the weekend to clean up Springfield a little bit, which is super cool. More than 100 people worked to clean up the streets, streams, and a park as part of Clean Green Springfield. Since that annual cleanup event started back in 2021, volunteers have given 8,000 hours worth of work and cleaned up 55 tons of litter in Springfield. Good for them.
I know. And you've already heard me on my soapbox. Like, there's so much litter right now. So much.
Not as much as there used to be.
Well, after their help. I know. After their help, because it was needed. So praise the Lord for those good people, those fine people.
This week, the 3 finalists for Springfield City Manager will interview and take questions from the public. Springfield's former city manager, as you'll recall, left that position back in January and ended up taking a job after that in a suburb of Nashville. The 3 finalists for the Springfield City Manager job include David Cameron from Republic, Brian Weiler from the Springfield Airport, and Bob Cowell from Virginia. 3 candidates will be in town tomorrow and Wednesday. Meanwhile, Springfield's outgoing mayor, posted a farewell as he's wrapping up his last week here. Mayor Ken McClure's last day in office will be Monday after 8 years as mayor of Springfield. He said he never planned on running for office, but it has become the honor of his lifetime.
That's cool. That's fun. We've gotten to do a few things with him, and he's pretty great. So congratulations to him on his farewell speech and position and life after public service. Okay, heads up on the roads. Road closures continue this week, specifically related to the project to bring Jordan Creek back to the surface through downtown. This week and next, Boonville Avenue is closed at Water Street to work on a water main. Work also continues on I-44 through Springfield. As you know, crews are widening the interstate to 3 lanes in each direction between Highway 65 and West Bypass, which will be great eventually. Also, this Thursday, you can get a look at what the Jefferson Avenue footbridge will look like when it is finally rehabbed. Thursday morning from 10 to 11, you can meet the people who have been working on the bridge at the C Street Market Pavilion. The footbridge has been closed since 2016, which is when they deemed it unsafe for foot traffic. The rehab project will raise the footbridge by a few feet and make it safer for pedestrians to walk over it, and also safer and more room for the railroad to do the work that they need to do underneath on like the tracks and the cars and things. So
There's a
going on.
lot going on. I think that'll be finished in 26 is when they hope to have the footbridge open again. It has been an ordeal.
Maybe.
It has been quite an ordeal.
Yes.
Hey, up in St. Louis, they just found out that they will host the championship game of the United Football League in June. It's like right around the corner, and they just found out about it. The UFL announced it during the St. Louis Battlehawks game Sunday afternoon. So I guess it's a surprise every year who's going to do it. Whereas the Super Bowl is like, 5 years in advance, I think, that you're going to host a Super Bowl. At any rate, it's the second year in a row for St. Louis to host the championship, UFL championship there at the Dome. So that'll be something.
All right. Did you see this? Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani were just in the Ozarks and apparently had a great time. They traveled with 2 of Gwen's sons and stayed at
Big Cedar.
Big Cedar. Of course. They stayed at Big Cedar.
Yeah.
Gwen posted about the trip, complete with pictures of them on the golf cart tour. They went to dinner. They had the chapel overlooking Table Rock Lake and said it was an unforgettable time.
I actually saw her post on, I don't know if it's Facebook or Instagram. I don't follow her, but somebody that I do, I guess, follow shared that because she was here. Mm-hmm. And Blake was here. So, I mean, the pictures were nice. So I thought, oh, well, that's nice. They're coming here to the Ozarks. And then what's strange is that I was sent through Google an article that the Today Show wrote.
Oh, interesting.
But here's how news is these days. And I guess we're reporting it, so we're part of the problem too. But news will just, like the Today Show. This isn't your rinky-dink around the Ozarks, folks. Like us.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a Today Show, and they wrote an article about Gwen and Blake spending time in the Ozarks just based on her post. So they will, like, news outlets follow celebrities, I guess, because I've seen it with a bunch of other people, and they'll just repeat what the celebrities said in their post for everybody to see. But I guess they get a click out of it, so it's a win-win, I guess.
And there's no addition. Yeah. So now that I sit behind a computer for 3 hours a day, which has never been the case, including when I was a reporter, that was not the case, but now that is the case. I can confirm what you're saying. There will be like a well-written headline. I mean, and I know it's called clickbait. Like, I get it. But what's interesting is there's actually no new information other than what was written in the post.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So that
exactly
is news to me. Never in my life have I written a story based on someone's post. Even if it's an authority, I still call, I get additional information. I do something.
You
And
don't need to. You don't have to do anything.
I mean, maybe you don't have to do anything on occasion.
Just tell me what they said in their post.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
That's all they do.
I, however, do take issue. We are not part of the problem. We, in fact, are part of the solution.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. How?
It's
Again?
true. It's true. I actually believe that to be true.
What are we doing? How are we part of the solution?
We are giving people news that will not make them want to drive off a cliff.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's
Yeah.
part of the solution, sir. We don't need people wanting to drive off a cliff. Not that they ever have based on the news, hopefully. But I mean, we don't even want them to want to.
Gwen and Blake's story isn't going to make anybody want to drive off a cliff.
I mean, maybe some people's, they're like, really? We don't care. You know?
Yeah, there'll be stuff all the time. I'll see these headlines, and it'll be either from it's usually stuff from a podcast that somebody says in a podcast. So if anybody's following us and they write news articles based on small talk that we make during our podcast, but it happens all the time with like Erin Andrews. She does a podcast with another sports anchor, Carissa Thompson. I think Carissa Thompson. And anyway, there'll be a headline about something that they just talked about at the podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's a news story, or
right.
Or it'll be the Kelsey brothers, what they say.
Or some like, right.
Sometimes they make
off the cuff, random comment. Yes.
Right.
This has actually happened to us before too, by the way.
To get you to click on it.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
I clicked, and now you know.
And now you know. Okay. Well, finally, this is worth clicking on. AroundTheOzarks.com. We are giving what?
No, I got another story.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Royal Mac. Yeah, get it.
It's an interesting story.
It is. It's a good one.
Rory McIlroy just won his first ever Masters yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. I watched the end of it because I don't have time to watch the whole thing anymore. I used to. Man, those were the days when I could lay on the couch all day Saturday and Sunday watching golf.
Yeah.
Can't do it. But as I was putting together this newscast, actually, I was watching the tape delay. So I recorded it and I was watching it. And but so anyway, Rory McIlroy won. That isn't the story that I'm getting to. I saw this other story over the weekend that I want to mention that just got me into it. And it was an article about a family who lives in Augusta, which of course is home to the Masters. And every year for the tournament, this family leaves town and they rent out their house for a week.
Sweet.
What they're able to charge for 1 week's rental of their house pays their mortgage for the entire year.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that unbelievable?
That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. They're able to charge so much for 1 week that every other week of the year is paid for.
That's unbelievable.
I know. It's sweet. Good for them, right?
Yeah. Good for them. It's crazy because golf is one of those sports. It's an expensive sport. And so people will pay for that kind of Airbnb or whatever you want to call it because they're ready to spend the money because they're golfers. Find me a poor golfer.
Most people,
there's not one.
Well, I mean, there's big corporations that come down. It's a Masters, so it's the biggest golf tournament there is, certainly in this country. Yeah. And so it's kind of, for a lot of people, it's a once in a lifetime thing. They just, they're willing to spend money to make that a great week, and they pay their mortgage for an entire year. So they move into a camper, and they just go on a little camping trip and come back and don't have to pay for their house anymore.
I wish that there was an event in the Ozarks that would draw enough people who are willing to spend money.
So that somebody would pay our mortgage for a year?
Yeah.
Is that what
I mean, I have a friend who will remain nameless because it kind of sounds bad, but it sounds like she's money hungry, and she's definitely not. But her house is on Airbnb, and they were kind of sick of renting it out. They were like a little bit like done. Like, okay.
Local? Local house?
Yeah, just local. Yeah, here in town. And so her husband was like, I have a better idea. Let's not take it off of Airbnb. Let's actually set the price so high that nobody will pay it. But leave it on there. And so they did. And they still started getting renters.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they
which
move
was
out
a
of- they
huge
move
blessing
out.
for them, by the way. But my point is that like everything has gone up to the point where you're just willing to pay it. So over the weekend, we went to Subway. I don't have anything against Subway. Subway's fine. But for we were on the road, so that's why I didn't just make it at home. But I bought a 6-inch sandwich for like nine something plus tax. I was like, I just looked at the lady because I know that it's not her call, but I'm like, and then I thought to myself, no, the sign's on the board, it's clearly, and I am the idiot in here buying it for that price. You know what I mean? But then you look behind you and there's 50 other people in line. So I couldn't believe
expensive.
it.
Everything's
I couldn't
expensive.
believe it. In fact, she said, what will you have? And I said, I would like the cheapest thing on the menu. I literally said those words.
And $9 later, you got a 6-inch sub. Okay. Take your own lunch meat from home next time.
I know. We did take an ice chest, but we didn't put enough like real food in it. It was like snacky stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll pay that off this week.
I don't even know how we got there, by the way. Something about Gwen Stefani. I don't know.
No, we were at the Masters. We
were at the
passed up
Masters,
win
of
a
course.
long time
Okay.
ago. Yeah.
All right. Well, finally, this. If you don't want to pay for a lawnmower, we'll give you one. How about that? There's a good segue for you. We are teaming up with Springfield's Rock Station Q102 at AroundTheOzarks.com. You can enter to win a free to you Ferris zero-turn lawnmower valued at nearly $5,000. So thank you so much to our giveaway partners to be able to do this. Sportsland pickup covers and trailer sales. Sportsland has all kinds of things. It's actually a super cool place. I wasn't that familiar with it until we sought more information about who are you and what do you do. It's a locally owned business in Rogersville. They do all sorts of things. So, and if you know them, you know them, but if you don't, get to know them because they are giving away a lawnmower to our listeners. So we are super thankful. We will be picking the winner live in person at Sportsland on Friday, May 2nd. And we hope that you will play our game. Good times.
Yeah, it's easy to enter. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to win that lawnmower. It might as well be you. So
that's what
AroundTheOzarks.com, Around the Ozarks on the smartphone app. And there, too, you can also listen to the podcast, watch the podcast, and not just our podcast. But we got a lot of hyper-local podcasts at Around the Ozarks. That's what Around the Ozarks is. It's hyper-local because
I don't think anyone outside of the news business knows what hyperlocal means, but what Ethan is trying to say, Springfield, Ozark, Nixa, Republic, Bolivar, West Plains, Willard, Bodark. I'm trying to think of all the town. Like it's
hyper-local.
Primarily hyper-local news. That's what that means.
It's hyper-local. Yeah.
Except for Gwen. We made Gwen local.
Also local.
She went to Big Cedar. It's true. Okay.
All right. That'll do it for us. Thank you for being with us on this Monday. Hope you had a great weekend and that your week will be as good as a weekend. That's not possible, but do your best.
Bye.